Welcome to Natural Health Radio. We are here to bring you the latest in your health freedom, mind, body, spirit. We want to bring to you information to help you in your daily life to think about really important stuff and to let go of thinking about anything else. I mean, sometimes we spend a lot of time thinking about things that are so unimportant.
What about thinking about the past? You can't do anything about that.
Right. And this is Mark Alyn from Late Night Health Radio. And Mark is chiming in, which I'm so happy he does. And
Most every week.
Most every week, right. So we want to talk about, first of all, for 2 seconds here about what you said. What about all the other things?
Yeah, I was thinking, you can't do it. If you have all this stuff, life going on, right? In your, you've got taxes and you've got this and you've got that and you've got people that you work with and people you don't want to work with and all this other stuff. One of the things you should be able to drop is your past, I would think, because It happened yesterday. You can't do anything about it.
Exactly. I think that's very, very important, is to not drag the past along with you into the present moment, into the present time. And talking about all of this wonderful things, we're going to introduce you to Sarah, who has a show on Inner Light Radio. And we want to talk with Sarah about what he's up to with Inner Light Radio and about meditation and about people and their journey and following your path. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Dr. Teresa. Pleasure to be on the show. Thank you for having me on.
Very good.
Can you tell us, Sarah, a little bit about your background and how you became Sarah?
Excellent question. So I've been on the spiritual path, I would say, pretty much all of my life. It escalated about 30 years ago when, at the time, I was a Christian, but there has always been for me, I was never one to just accept any information from anyone, even my parents. And so when there were things that I felt were contradictory or didn't quite make sense, I would ask the questions. And, it would bring me into some conflict at times with religious authorities, if you will. But I would ask the questions nonetheless, and I've always believed in the universal principle of seeking you shall find. And so in my seeking, it led me on a path to where I was introduced to this spiritual center called the Aquarian Spiritual Center, which was run by the late Dr. Alfred Ligon, who founded the first African-American bookstore in Los Angeles. And the spiritual center wasn't made known to the public. It was by invitation only. So Dr. Ligon would invite people based upon his observations of the type of books that people gravitated to, or you were referred in. And so that really just escalated my spiritual path, and from that point on, the universe would direct me to people, places, and information that would deepen my spiritual journey. And then ultimately, I say about 10 years ago, I came upon this book called The Lost Teachings of Atlantis, and it was a spiritual book. And then that book, I came across a passage that said, on your spiritual path, you'll reach a point where you'll feel as though you're stagnated, that you can't go any further on your own. And at that point, you should seek a spiritual master, or what they call a true teacher. And so I did, and then I was introduced to my guru, Amma, a spiritual teacher from from South India. As for my
Interesting.
name,
Right.
that was given to me by a West African priest about 25 years ago during a naming ceremony that the priest conducted in Los Angeles. And I signed up for it, because most African American people have come to the United States from West Africa during the slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to get an ancestral name. Nonetheless, when, and my last name starts with a W, so I ended up going last, and I observed that everyone was given West African names except for me. The name Sarah is an ancient Egyptian name, which means son of God, and he gave me that name.
And did he explain why?
He didn't explain why, and but I kind of knew because I had been studying ancient Egyptian teachings, and I knew what it meant. And I think he intuitively knew that I knew what it meant. And so I ended up coming to understand. At first, I didn't. It intimidated me, but I came to realize that was something to motivate me to embrace, to imbue those type of qualities as much as I possibly could.
That's really amazing, your journey, and I really appreciate your sharing that with us. So, how do you use your experiences from your journey to help others?
I believe that I've been blessed to be able to explain spiritual principles in a more easily digestible standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, you were just talking about the past, and and how many people are consumed with just resonating on things that have happened to them in the past, and often it becomes so consuming that people cannot appreciate and experience what they're living in now. And so here I've had some discussions with people, encouraging people to let go of the past and to understand that all exists now, and that when the past only serves like film for a game, for say a football game, for instance. When the game is over and the team loses, they will watch the film to identify what mistakes they made, what they could do better, and then they craft a new game plan for the current game. But once they've crafted their game plan and learned from the past, they discard the film. It's not necessary any longer.
I was just going to ask you that very good analogy of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
It is excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so basically, that's what we do with the past. When we get the lesson, just let it go. It's done. It's over.
right. And I think that analogy of looking at what you did and you're using football games as an perfect example. You look back and you see what you did, and then you reconstruct the new game. I think that many people oftentimes look at the past, then they play it over, then they play it over, then they play it over ad nauseum, and they never really understand that they can reconstruct and do it differently.
Exactly, and what people don't realize is that by continuously replaying it over and over, that they are engaged in the process of recreating it.
I know. It's every time you play it over again, you are recreating it, and you can even get stuck in that black hole of recreating the past, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of in a loop. Do you work with people to help them learn from their past and then to move forward into the present?
Well, yeah, absolutely I do. And and I help people to really, I say, and I coined the term understand as opposed to understand. And the reason I choose that word is because the word under to me connotates like being beneath or not quite reaching the point. Some people use the term overstand to me, which means past it. But understand is, means that you're in the essence of it. And, when we're talking about spirituality, it's really about, the being in tune with the inner self. So I use that term. And so what I help people to understand is who they really are and distinguish it from who we have identified ourselves with. And, realizing that what we've identified ourselves with isn't actually us. And so it's
right.
a kind of a realignment of perspective.
Right, and I think that that's a very important point. Who we identify ourselves with isn't us. It's some idea or image or identity of a type of person, and that, you know what I'm saying, and it's not really who we are. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, in spirituality, we use the term ego as defining that false identification. And ego is used differently than it's used in the popular lexicon or in psychology, whereas in spirituality, ego connotates the sense of separate consciousness. The part of us that identifies ourselves as being separate from everything in the universe. Now, we know as spiritual beings that we are part of the oneness, part of the oneness of spirit, right? But ego takes us out of that perspective and then makes us identify with our the individual perspective. And so, what distinguishes us? And so we look at things like, what we consider to be our personality. Much of what we consider to be our personality ends up being how we have reacted to things that have occurred to us in our past. There's the past coming up again.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so it can be influenced by the environment that we grew up in and the people that we were around and, the energies that existed at that time. And so that makes us, somewhat kind of unique in how we deal with the world, but it doesn't define who we are, right? But that's what people are, are under the illusion is defining who they are. And so part of the objective of spirituality is to remove those layers of consciousness, of identifying with that and realizing that once we peel back all those layers, that our essence, our true essence is spirit. And so the journey into self is really just the peeling back of those layers to reveal the true essence.
Right, and if you get down to the basics here of, I know one of the things that I was talking about at the Carnegie Principle event was that there's a light in every cell, and that light is the biophoton that is in every cell, and that is a fact that is proven, that exists. And if we want to peel back the layers and really keep going, the light in the cell is spirit, and
Right.
That's what that is. And so this really exactly corroborates exactly what you're saying. So I think that we need to see the proof. That is, not that we need proof, but some people need proof. Well, prove that there is spirit. Okay, look at Dr. Pop's book and all the research on biophotons. What do you think the light in your cell is, right?
But there are people, and this is addressed to both of you, who seem to be successful, seem to be happy, yet profess not to have a belief in a higher power. How do we explain that? Sarah, could you do that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And
That's
Well,
what Mark.
I
That's
would-
what Mark gets paid for.
That's what I get paid for.
That's for his excellent questions.
what I would attribute that to is the concept of or the law of karma, rather. And what people don't realize about karma is that karma extends beyond just the effects of the current life, right? And so if you think of karma as a bank, when we're doing something that's positive, then we're making a deposit into the karmic bank. If our actions are negative, we're making a withdrawal from the karmic bank. Now, what's important for us to realize, is that we as spiritual beings experience a number of different incarnations. And we make deposits and withdrawals to the karmic bank during each and every one of those experiences. And you carry your balance over into the next one. And so the people who are happy and seem to be getting everything that they want in life, and irrespective of what type of person they might be, are people who have come into this incarnation with a large balance from the karmic bank.
Oh, I
And
see
they're
what you're
they're
saying.
living on their interest.
Right.
I love that. That's a
It's great.
terrific thing.
It is. And one of the things that I feel like I have a cookie jar. It's my karma cookie jar. Every time, I feel like I've done something good for a person, I just put my karma cookies in it.
Ooh, I like that.
It's just a way for me to understand and make sure that I'm doing that in my life.
I can see that now. Dr. Dale's karmic
Cookie jar.
cookie jar. I can see the video of that.
Right. So, and they're chocolate chip.
Of course, they have to be. They have to
That's
be.
right.
Not carob,
No,
chocolate.
chocolate.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Right.
So we're just about to wrap up our time that we have with you today, and I want to see if there's any last words that you have that you would like to share.
Yeah, there's many things that I would share, but I would say the first thing that I would just encourage all of us to do is to regularly engage in meditation. So many people are experiencing stress, and there is an increasing amount of things that are moving to try to put people in a state of fear, or to keep people in a state of being stressed out or anxious. And so it's really important that we engage in a meditation in order to be able to give us the ability to detach from circumstances and to be able to be at peace, be in a state of calmness in the midst of the storms that we experience. And so hopefully, maybe one time I can come a little later and explain the process of meditation, because I find that a number of people misidentify meditation with the guided visualization.
Right.
So-
It's true. So, yeah, well, you definitely are invited back to do that. And I just want to thank you so much. And Mark does as well.
Absolutely. Sarah, thank you.
And
Absolutely.
Okay.
My pleasure.
all right. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have to before we say anything else. He was terrific. I enjoyed him a lot. I have to say, you were wearing an outstanding outfit.
Really?
No,
Thank you.
I mean, it radiates energy. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to explain this, and maybe you know what? I'm going to take a picture, and you can post it on the website. She's wearing what looks to me, and I am so the term fashion forward. I am fashion unforward.
You're backwards.
I'm fashion backwards, right? I don't believe, I still wear bell bottoms.
You do have different colored socks, I can see from coming out of your sneakers.
Yes, but aren't they great?
They are. They're like an indigo kind of blue, bright, or a royal blue. They're
a royal
very
blue.
nice, very nice,
I've
very
got
bright.
these. They were a gift, and they're very comfortable.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
You're welcome. I just have to describe it. It's an Asian top. It's bright red. Red in Asian culture is
Power. Good luck.
And good luck. And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I saw that when you came in, and I went, "Whoa, baby!" No, really.
And it's a long top. It doesn't show anything. It's just kind of a long Asian, not a kimono, but just a blouse.
Right.
But thank you.
And now, personal question: will you walk when you're at home?
Yeah.
Or even in your office alone, you'd kick off your shoes?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was just curious.
Why?
Because it's warm in the studio, and if I could, I would take off my shoes.
And that would smell great.
Well, yeah, I've got blue socks on.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
So we want to get into something about Sarah. We can. Some of the things he was talking about meditation, I'd love to have him back to listen to his way of meditating, but I really want to get into something this morning that is very, very helpful in just a minute.
Right. Oh, good segue. Yeah, I want to talk about Pro Wellness PMA, the art of creating wellness. Go to prowellnesspma.com, prowellnesspma.com. To learn about how you can become a pro wellness coach, and under the direction of Dr. Teresa Dale, PhD, CCN, MP. She's the trustee of Pro Wellness PMA, a private health care association. She happens to also be the president of the Wellness Center for Research and Education and the founder and dean, I believe, of the California College of Natural Medicine. I started the video on your. I'm reading from your website, and I started your video.
Welcome to the
and she is wonderful video, by the way.
Well, it's wonderful, that you did that, Mark.
I did. I produced that for you. She practices as a biological medical consultant, traditional naturopath, certified clinical nutritionist, and homeopath. You can learn a lot from Dr. Dale, and the way to start is to go to prowellnesspma.com. PMA stands for
Private Membership Association. So it's basically a private membership healthcare association.
And it allows you to learn about and help other people as your family members.
To become a pro wellness coach, help yourself and others, learn how to do that, come and do the training with us. We have a lot of trainings, audios, videos that we give all of our members that sign up as a pro wellness coach, so you wouldn't be left out in the cold. You would be brought in, and we would be training you. And so it's really good. And so basically, Sarah is he became a pro wellness coach, right? And people who are really wanting to do good on the planet, no matter what you're doing now, it doesn't matter. Just sign up
And to help.
And help people, right?
I have to tell you, this the opening page, the homepage, has a rock climber climbing what seems to be an impenetrable wall, but he's doing it, and so can you.
Yes, you can right now. You can start your journey right now. Just check out prowellnesspma.com, and we will help you along the way. This is not network marketing. This is not MLM. This is real. This is the real thing. So if you're listening to this and you think, oh, this might be what you're looking for, don't hesitate. Go there, feel it out. If it feels good, join, because you won't be sorry. And, when you join, you get free products to start using immediately to help yourself and help others, or to save them as samples to show everyone. So you get some free products with joining, which
that's a good thing.
I didn't really have to do that, but I really wanted to do that, because if you're going to join, the membership, if you're going to be learning about the products, about healing, then I want you to try them. So I think that it's a good thing for everyone. It's a win-win.
Do you get to choose the kind of products, or do you have some set
Well,
ones?
we have kits that everybody loves, which is the first thing, the cleansing kit. So you get an opportunity to cleanse your body, and you get an opportunity also to detoxify from radiation, from cell phones, nuclear radiation. And you also get a daily essentials kit, which allows you to have our multiple vitamin and minerals and just daily 3 products for the daily usage, no matter what, to keep you healthy and strong.
Interesting.
So
That's really good.
when you sign up, you actually get those things to start the process. So it's not just, sign up and then, buy the products. It's sign up, I'll give you the products so that you can try it.
And you can get more information at prowellnesspma.com, prowellnesspma.com. Let me introduce our cast of characters, if I may. We'll start with Dr. Teresa Dale. She is not a character, but...
I think I'm a character.
All right. Well, then she is a character.
I think I have the potential. That's what I'm striving for.
To be a character.
Yes,
all right?
Absolutely.
And, of course, the insane Daryl Wayne is a character.
Definitely.
Right. And then there is me, Mark Alyn.
You're definitely the most characteristic.
I am a character.
You are a caricature.
Kind of like the Mickey Mouse of radio.
Right.
Daryl is smiling and agreeing. I don't like that. What are we going to talk about now?
Well, the thing that, when we left off with Sarah, the next thing that I am going to be talking about with him, some of what tonight on his radio show would be the souls that we are. But I'm going to save this just for our radio show. And that is when you study in different religions, right, about the soul, what do you study? Like in Judaism, what do you learn about it?
That's an interesting question.
Because I know you learned something about it.
Yeah, the soul, I think, is eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's good enough. Well, so the thing is, the soul is eternal.
Right.
Okay, so eternal could mean many different things.
Absolutely.
But I think that that's true. And one of the other things that's interesting to be aware of is that I don't know any spiritual religious book that says souls have color. Okay, so your soul is not black, it is not white, it is not green, and it is not purple. No, it is void of color.
Okay.
Meaning that the soul, the light, is doesn't, there isn't a person. Black people don't have a black soul. Black people have a soul. White people have a soul. So what I'm saying is there's no discrimination on color.
Gotcha.
All of that is up to humans and their judgments and everything else that they have, right?
Can I bring this into...
Please, bring it into anything you want.
Into the what's happened in the last 5 or 6 days regarding hatred?
Yes.
Because this, to me, what you're talking about is
hatred.
Is hatred. And the fact that we don't have... understanding, that there isn't understanding. I think it's a small percentage of people. We talked about it on Late Night Health a couple of times, that the way people learn hatred, first of all, it's learned.
It is a learned response. It's learned from childhood, from environment. It's definitely, hatred is learned.
I did this earlier, and I'm going to do it again. The Broadway play by Rodgers and Hammerstein, South Pacific. Mm-hmm. One of the underlying themes, obviously love story is number one, but one of the underlying themes was interracial marriage, because the Frenchman had married a Polynesian woman and had children, and then Nellie, the nurse,
Nellie the nurse,
Nellie the nurse, the star, I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. Right? Remember that? She fell in love with him, and eventually his kids. And in the South.
And so your point?
My point is, in the South,
Yeah, well,
they wouldn't show the movie. They didn't show.
Oh, they wouldn't show it.
No, they would not show it. Mm-hmm. And I think it was it Michener that the story was written about? Do you know, Daryl?
You're speaking of James Michener, who wrote Hawaii and all that.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I think that's who.
Well,
the story was based
the
on.
whole thing is this is all people are. It's so ingrained in them they don't realize that they do have a choice because no one communicates with them like that.
Right.
No one communicates to them and says, you have a choice. You don't have to hate. And then it's just a matter of what a person has heard. It's their childhood, what they've listened to, their environment. And, it's a very sad thing to see people hurting each other over something, like the
color of their skin,
this color of the skin, the KKK, all of these people. You wonder, like, what could they be thinking? What is all of this can be changed, but it would have to be changed as a part of education, I think, and starts at kindergarten, So even if you grow up
earlier,
or even earlier, like when you have a child, it's like, so the point is, I think in kindergarten, in grade school, nursery school, to have children with different of different color together to play, to learn,
of course,
to do all of those things that are not done. Like where I live in Oxnard, Ventura, I don't see color. Where I used to live in New York City all the time, Manhattan, I saw color. And it was great. It was a diversity. You learn about people. Who are they? How did they grow up? And like we talked to Sarah today, we learned a little bit about his past and what made him Sarah,
Right.
Well, everybody has a story. Don't they? Everybody.
Absolutely.
And it would be good to listen to people, what their story is, and help them, whatever it is, to try to help them.
I think that one of the things that we could do, and this goes back to natural health, is that we could all bring our dishes together, our food dishes.
Yes. And bring them over Mark's house, because he
Bring
would
them over
like
to,
that.
yeah, bring them over.
Bring them to the studio. We
bring
would
them to
love
the
that.
studio. We'd bring them to the studio. Bring them to Dr. Dale's office. And everybody, black and white and purple and green and whatever you are religious-wise, you bring your favorite dish and you learn about that dish. You learn about, I had a friend in high school, her mother was from Ethiopia. And she made, you would have loved this. I wish I had a recipe. I'm looking at Daryl. He likes really spicy food.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you?
Yeah, very hot.
I'm talking about smoking hot.
Vindaloo Indian food is what I like.
And I like that too.
That's really spicy.
It is. This was so spicy it burned a hole in a desk. It was cold. It
didn't burn a hole in a desk.
No, I'm exaggerating. But it was potato salad.
Okay.
And it looked like potato salad. And you tasted it and you went, oh my, oh my, oh my. It was really, I'm going to have to see if I can get that recipe from
That's good for
my
you.
friend Lonnie.
The spices, if they're done right, with cayenne pepper and chilies and stuff, it's very healthy. Peppers have a lot of vitamin C in it.
Right.
They're good for your circulation. Very good for you.
I grew some serranos. You're the only one who's eaten them. You haven't eaten them yet.
So getting back to the Charlottesville thing,
right.
I think what we need to do is to, what the president has done, he has condemned these people and all of these things. I mean, I think that if the KKK went there and there was no one to fight against, it would be a different story. But people showed up to have their side of it. Now, what if nobody showed up to have their side of it on Charlottesville? What would happen? They would just be hanging around doing nothing. I mean, but as long as that resistance is there's this resistance, there's a way to get this. They should have arrested them all for, inciting just the idea of hatred and violence out in the public where there could be children, and a woman got killed, a young woman got killed, and then this this person, this sick person who ran into
The crowd.
people, the crowd. I mean, so if no crowd was there, okay, they would be there by themselves, talking to themselves, and then easy just to pick up and arrest them or something, knowing what they're doing there.
Yeah, it was a horrible thing, and I think it with starting with Sarah and talking about the spirituality, I thought it was a worthwhile thing to bring up.
Absolutely,
it bothers me a lot. I couldn't believe it in the 21st century that we still have white supremacist groups. It just never computes to me.
Well, it's something that is not in my reality. And when I hear it on, and see it on TV, I wonder, what planet is that on? I mean, where is the person living in their head in order to do that? What is it? So these people have deliberately propagated this whole thing because of a belief system. And the belief system is false. It's just full of, it's totally should be, they need major therapy, I think.
Maybe even drugs for a change.
Yeah, something.
Something
to up the game here. Let's look at some happy pills,
I see this, a spaceship lands, okay? People get out and they look just like us, 100 of them. Some are fat, some are skinny, some are tall, some are short. There are men, there are women, and there are children. They're all purple, though. Their skin color is purple. How will humanity, as we know it, accept them or not?
Say, I love color purple.
I do too.
No, that's what I would say. I would say, welcome. We have been expecting you our whole life, and we love purple.
We do. I mean, what difference does it make?
It doesn't. It doesn't actually make the difference. We have a mind. And that mind is so powerful that we can make the most positive things in the world, okay, in any direction we look, or we can make the most negative. It depends on our environment when we're born, when the mother and the father, when they're expecting the child, when the child is in the womb. Before you have a child, it's the parents. Genetically, the child will get some of that, but as a child is born into this world, there is every opportunity to have a phenomenal being that will contribute to society and be positive. It's just talk to the child every day and say,
it's also the study of epigenetics. You can change the genetics.
You can change the genetics. It's clear. It's what I talk about all the time on Natural Health Radio, and how your health freedom is the reason why I do this show. Your health reason. Now, we want to talk a little bit about the Wellness Center today.
Oh, okay.
And we want to just spend a few minutes that the Wellness Center has been there. Wellnesscenter.net has been there since 1994. And what we do is we educate and empower people, giving them hope that they can make a change. The rest, being that we're not one-on-one with everybody, talking with everybody, they can become a member of, this is a different kind of club. This is not to become a pro-wellness coach, just to seek help for yourself and to join. It's only $20 a month on the wellnesscenter.net. And then you have a portal that opens for your education with protocols, with information about diet and health, and you'll see a lot of things for you. And then you can always email me a question directly once you're into the Wellness Center memberships. You go to wellnesscenter.net, you click on members, and then you sign up as a member. It's $20 a month, and you can become educated in that way. The Pro Wellness Coach is a different thing. It is for people who want a new business opportunity to help humanity. You can do both if you choose to. So check out the wellnesscenter.net. And we have to understand that the way we fight hate is to feel positive love, and the only resistance we need is what we have in our mind. The resistance in that love in our mind, okay, the care in our mind, the positivity in our mind is the only thing we really need. We don't need to join a group and to go out and beat people up and to be the opposition. The opposition is positivity and love. That is the opposition. So that's all we need to do.
In terms of health, in terms of your 30 years of practice, would you say that love is the key to maintaining health? I mean, one of the primary keys, having love for oneself and the world?
Having love for oneself is key. Love yourself. I say that, to everybody. Don't forget to love yourself. What that means is take care of yourself. That means do the right thing for yourself. That means eat healthy food for yourself. That means exercise, love yourself, take care of yourself, and realize more of who you are. Well, who is the self? The self, who you are, may be still to be discovered. You know what I'm saying? May still be discovered in this, or you may add to, I knew I was this, but maybe I'm also this. It's not in a box. So everything can change, and to discover who you really are as a human being. And then from there, everything works out to the positive. Once you know who you are, you're a positive person, you're loving, whatever is included in that. You are a person who wants to save humanity, to heal humanity, to offer options to people instead of hurting themselves with drugs and things like that, even if it's medication. Okay, you could be doing something different. You could just need to learn what those things are.
When I look at some of these supremacists on TV, I look at them and often, and I don't want to stereotype, but here I go, stereotype. They don't look healthy to me. Some of them don't have, teeth. Some of them, they just look unhealthy.
Hate is not healthy. I mean, to feel hate, to feel hatred is not healthy, and it's not real. I mean, it's something that is made, you're making your body and you're telling your body, or you've been in an environment like that. But you're right, there's no health in hating. And I don't know about you, but I can honestly say that I've never felt the emotion hate. I've never felt it.
You've never.
And I've never felt it.
I'm looking at Daryl.
Well, I'm just saying that
Yes.
I have never felt that emotion. I have felt anger. I have felt anger. I have felt, and deliberately, I can feel these things when I'm working on myself. I want to see what it feels like. So I have a process called neurophysical reprogramming, where you feel certain things to see how it feels, and then I test it to see if it's in my body. I don't even know how to make hate in my body. It's like I can be...
Which is a great thing.
Well,
I don't think I do either. I think anger, yes.
Anger, yeah. This is a normal reaction. We're human, that we get anger. Even frustration. I have felt a lot of frustration that I have worked on.
I felt frustration. I think that song could have been Frustration.
Right.
But anyway. It's... I would agree that you don't need, that most people, I don't think, feel hate. They feel anger. They may not want to speak to that person anymore because of the anger. They're frustrated, they're angry, but they don't hate them.
Well, it's like I just say I think it's one of the most difficult emotions to feel when people say to me, even, I've had people close to me who have said, "Oh, I hate this person." I go, "No, you don't. You don't really hate them." And they go, "Yeah, I really hate them." I said, "Describe hate to me." Well, I would want to kill them. that would be hatred. It's like, I've
Absolutely.
actually had people say that to me, that for them, hatred is wanting to make sure that person dies and is not there and to hunt them down. As a doctor, a naturopathic doctor, I have had patients in the past that I was working on their emotions, and they said that to me. So you have to realize what that word means. That word is a very serious word, and I don't think that most people really have that, even when they say, I hate
agree.
something.
Can we look up a dictionary definition of hate? And
Good old Daryl's sitting there with his Wikipedia.
Right.
I'm still on South Pacific, which was a James Michener book, by the way.
I was right. Thank you.
Okay, so the thing is...
And that was, I have to say, that was in the 40s that South Pacific came out. And we haven't...
Yeah, they specifically wrote it to A, be financially successful, and B, because they thought it was going to take a progressive stance on racism.
Yeah. And there, as I said, I can think of one song from that talked about you have to learn to hate.
Right. Well, here's the thing is that hatred. The thing is that hatred is something that when people say, "Oh, I hate that," they're just saying, like, they're kidding around, or they're just saying. They don't really want to destroy somebody's life over it, but hatred is it's, to me, in studying Carl Jung and Freud, Sigmund Freud, and all of the great psychotherapists, the thing that I loved about them is the way that they wrapped there's all of the belief systems and things around these emotions. So most people, when they say hate, they mean anger, like I hate it, but it doesn't mean...
I anger it.
Yeah, I anger it. They don't mean like I'm going to go down there and put on this KK thing and hate and
right.
and kill somebody. And to me, it looked like that they were ready to kill somebody.
Oh,
that
there's
they
no
would do
question,
that.
and they did.
Yeah, and they did, but I mean, it's like they were ready with their hands, with their,
Yes.
And there is this whole thing needs help. I don't think love has color. I don't think there's a color to love.
No,
I think
of
you
course
can
not.
love somebody who is purple, green, blue. I would love to meet a purple person, as it's my favorite color. But I mean,
I like purple rice.
yeah, I love the red, purple rice is great. But you know what I'm saying.
Of course.
Love does not have a color.
I agree.
Unless you make it that way. You can make it that way.
It's pure energy is what
It's
love.
pure love and energy, love and light. And what does Daryl have to say?
Hate definition, dislike intensely or passionately feel extreme aversion for or extreme hostility toward, detest, to hate the enemy, to hate bigotry.
Wow.
Yeah. So that thing is to detest, to want to go forward and do something about it. That's what hate is. So it's not like when you say, "Oh, I hate pasta." It's not like that. It's people use that word a lot for different things. So
Right.
what I saw in Charlottesville was definitely the true definition of hate.
I
And
agree.
I think that what people have done to other people, specifically, always talk about this, about slavery and all of the things that people have gone through, people of color. I think it's sickness. I really do. I think it's sickness. I don't understand how people can do those and can say those kind of things and feel those kind of things. So
We're out of time.
We're out of time. And I want to thank you so very much. And what's the last word?
The last word is check out prowellnesspma.com, prowellnesspma.com, prowellnesspma, the art of creating wellness. Get involved.
Get involved now. Thank you. You're welcome, and we'll see you next week.
We will see you
and
next
I've
week.
enjoyed this time with you. This hour has been fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
All
you.
right.
It's gone by very fast.
I know.
Well, thank you for listening to
Natural Health Radio.
To Natural Health Radio.